What up, guys? It's your boy Wrestle Flow fans, what it is. And we are here with the Smackdown live review. And we will be talking about what the hell is going to be happening. So, what's cracking? Hope everyone's doing well tonight. We're just going to be waiting for a few more people to join the stream so we could kind of start and kind of conversate on what the hell is going on with SmackDown. Let me just check if my audio's all right. So we could kind of start and kind of conversate on what the hell is going on. So the audio is fine, as you can see. Hope everyone's doing all right in the quarantine, man. I know it's been pretty crazy lately, and you know, it's just one of those things where it's like we really don't have there's not too much to do. So now we're looking at Money in the Bank, when Money in the Bank is gonna probably pop up soon, and how that's gonna happen. Everyone knows that Money in the Bank is supposed to be in a corporate setting. This time it's going to be in Connecticut. Most likely has been shot on top of the WWE corporate structure. So let me just put in my tags here and then we could get started. Let me know, how do you guys like SmackDown tonight, man? So let's kind of see when Money in the Bank is supposed to be hitting. So Money in the Bank, I think it's supposed to be this week or next week? So May 10th. So we're looking at next week probably. Yeah, so you have this weekend, so it's next Sunday, not this coming Sunday, obviously next Sunday, May 10th. 2020, and word is that there are going to be 2 Money in the Bank matches happening at the same time, because we're not stupid and they filmed everything before, so they're just going to be cutting them over and over again. Well, actually, no. So hold on, let me watch this real quick. So I think there's going to be 2 rings, and they're going to be having, that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty interesting, actually. When Vince says F it, I guess this might mean something good is coming out of it. So I'm just waiting for this. Men's and women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Simultaneously, so next to each other. So that's a pretty interesting idea. Obviously on top of the corporate structure, which is, I like it. I like the idea of having Money in the Bank on top of the corporate center. That would be pretty interesting, kind of dangerous. What up, Sean Franklin? What's going on, man? Welcome to the review. If you have not subscribed as of yet, please subscribe to the channel. And what do you think about Money in the Bank being on the top of the WWE corporate building and happening simultaneously, which is pretty interesting. I think out of all of this boring shit that we all have been dealing with as of late, I think this is definitely a more refreshing type of an idea. They should have done stuff like this already, but hey, I gotta give credit where credit is due. And, it is a good thing that, they actually put their creative juices to play and they're putting money in the bank, as a ladder match. So that's pretty interesting. I want to see how they do it. Obviously, I think they have filmed the Money in the Bank match already. And, that's where this is going. Because obviously everything's pre-taped, but other than that, honestly, there has nothing else that has my attention with the WWE so far, except for the whole news with Vince McMahon potentially selling the WWE to either Disney or Fox, or if Fox, that portion of Fox is owned by Disney, obviously. It would be technically Disney buying it. So let's see where that goes. That's a pretty interesting thing if Vince McMahon is really ready to sell the WWE. Obviously he's not going to sell the whole shitload to it, but in terms of who's going to have more control over the company, that's where the news and rumors are coming out of. Obviously it's a family business, so I'm definitely sure that they would not let go of the whole thing, and I could definitely see Stephanie McMahon, Triple H, and Shane McMahon having some aspirations of eventually taking over the company, but you never know. Obviously we just see the TV part of it. We only get some type of a news or rumor from different sources, which, obviously many times is incorrect. And then we could just, talk based on speculations and everything. So, that's my opinion on it. I feel like Vince McMahon should finally just sell I think it's a good thing. I think it would be a new big chapter in the professional wrestling realm. So, that's my stance on it over here. But other than that, man, 2 matches in Money in the Bank. So that has my attention right now. Other than, I haven't even been doing like a lot of videos based on wrestling recently, only because I made one yesterday pertaining to Vince McMahon selling the WWE, because that was a big one after the cuts that they made. So another news, I guess, related to that has been Curtis Axel. I'm pretty sure you guys know by now that Curtis Axel was recently released, and which is sad news. Mr. Perfect's son, you can't even do anything with Mr. Perfect's son, which is sad. You had Paul Heyman behind him. You had, they tried. But I just feel like it just goes back to the crux of the WWE's creative lack of attention. Their creative is just not as solid as it used to be. And like our internet community has voiced our opinions over and over again for years and years again. I've just come to the arena right now, but there's been many internet critics before me who have voiced the same opinion, who have even more credibility and obviously more stake in the game than I do. That they should do something about creative. And a big part of that is Vince McMahon. There's been reports that sometimes, obviously, people bring in good ideas to Vince, but Vince rejects them because whatever Vince sees in his mind is what Vince wants to see on TV. He does not see another vision. He does not watch other TV. He is in his own little world. So, which is a really, obviously a closed-minded perspective, especially in the day and age that we're living in right now. You just need to be way more open-minded. You need to look at what the hell is going on around. Obviously this guy is still stuck on his old woes and all of these things where trying to do the XFL again and all of that. So this is like, what, 20 years ago. So he's still stuck on things, burying WCW, old WCW stars. Okay, he's giving something to Goldberg, but it's just, that's like a 1 in a million thing, the way they wasted Sting, in my opinion, was just, one of those things where it's like you had a chance and you blew it. You blew everything, man. Like, then the dude gets injured and voila, like Vince McMahon succeeds in burying another WCW star. So this is where he thinks now. And, obviously as a person gets older, he gets more stubborn, and, that's the whole thing. So Sean Franklin says, you think, stay USA Network, Monday Night Raw, ESPN. It really depends on their TV deal at this point. What I think is, obviously, since they have a big contract with like these networks, like, USA for such a long time and stuff, and I believe like they did sign that deal, so it really depends on their contract. Yes. So, for example, if ESPN is the one buying the WWE, and, obviously that's just like once they're done with the WWE contract, with the USA Network contract, then they would shift it to ESPN most likely. Then we would definitely see a lot of these WWE shows like Raw, SmackDown, and maybe even the pay-per-views eventually hop onto ESPN. And what I think is, if it goes into ESPN's hands, obviously they would not continue the WWE network. What they would do is, I think, I'm not too big on like other sports and stuff. I'm a little into UFC and stuff. But what I think is going to happen is, I think ESPN has always had a season pass for other sports and everything. So what they're probably going to do with the pay-per-views is they're going to ditch the WWE network. They might just keep it, but just like the word was like a few months ago, where, not even a few months ago, like a month ago actually, where word was that Vince McMahon is trying to sell the pay-per-view rights to, ESPN or some of these other, pay-per-views. So that's how ESPN would kind of go about it. You would have to buy like a season pass for like 12 pay-per-views for the year, or you could just buy one pay-per-view for $60, something like that, unless you're subscribed to their, whatever, fair share of content. And, that's how they would go about it, which, obviously it's not a wise decision. We have been conditioned at this point to just take the WWE network, watch our pay-per-views on the WWE network for $10 a month. Imagine how much viewership they're going to lose for their pay-per-views if they make you pay like $50-$60 again. I damn sure am going to think about which pay-per-views I'm going to be paying for, because it's just, you don't want to watch it if, because, okay, so this is not the Attitude Era or the Ruthless Aggression where you actually want to pay for these pay-per-views as much as $60. It's just not the time anymore. Okay, if they were putting out content like that, take my money. But since the content is just not like the way it used to be, and it's straight trash nowadays, I would not be paying $60 every month for a pay-per-view viewership. Hell no. I'm just not like, programmed that way for some reason, because it's just like, at least you want some type of a surprise, some type of a reward within the event. And nowadays it just feels like with the WWE, it just feels like for the past several of years, right? So I'm going back to around the Daniel Bryan thing, and before that, the CM Punk thing. Around that time, so we could say around what, like 7-8 years now, the WWE has basically created a war between the internet community versus them. So whatever we talk about, whatever ideas and suggestions we want to give to the WWE, they just do the opposite. They think that we're smarks and all of that stuff. And that's just not, that they're not getting the point behind these videos that all of these YouTubers and critics and articles, what all these people do. If you made the content a little edgier, maybe go back from PG to regular, TV 14 or something like that. Obviously, because look, we still watch the product regardless of us critiquing it 24/7. What does that show you? People think, there's often times where people tell me like, yo, if you don't like the content, if you don't like the WWE and what they're doing, why do you continue to watch the WWE programming? Which is a valid point within itself. But the thing is, look, I have been a diehard wrestling fan forever now. Ever since I was little, enjoyed everything, dressed up as the characters on Halloween, all of that stuff, right? So, you as a wrestling fan probably know exactly what I'm talking about. So it's obviously I'm not going to let go. I want the product to be better again so I could pay my money. I could, obviously be a proud wrestling fan and, basically enjoy the content better. I'm invested in that company, if you will. So it's just one of those things, man. Yeah, I'm going to continue watching it, but it just comes down to why I'm watching it. Now we look at it, obviously since we're older now we look at it as a, from a business perspective, that the WWE, obviously if they make good storyline decisions, if they make, continuity in their storylines, obviously as a viewer, I would be more invested in watching. I would even spend my money on a few things. But that's what they don't get. For the past 8 years, it has been the internet versus the WWE. Whatever suggestion we're going to be throwing out there, they're going to do the complete opposite. They're going to try to troll us, this and that, which is cool. It's fun at times, but at the same time, it's just like they're not getting why we critique the WWE. It's because we want a better product. We want, obviously, if you have a better product, more people are going to watch it. We're going to be happier to watch it. We're going to eventually stop, complaining about it over and over again. But, it just comes down to that. And, Sean Franklin says, you think WWE do a Bret Hart biopic movie? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. They hate Bret Hart. Trust me when I say this, they hate Bret Hart. Okay, so this goes back to exactly what I was telling you guys a few minutes ago, where Vince McMahon, the reason why this company is where it's at right now is because Vince McMahon is stuck in his old woes, in his old grudges. Vince McMahon is never gonna forget the whole Vince screwed Brett. Brett screwed Brett and all of that stuff. That night, Vince McMahon is not going to forget. Vince McMahon is not going to forget that Bret Hart went to WCW, elevated WCW, during the wars and everything. Vince McMahon is not going to forget that. He hates him. The only reason why he has him back is so he could make some money off of him. And especially the reason why I do not see a Bret Hart biopic coming is because Bret Hart was inaugurated the AEW Heavyweight Championship. Remember when he unfolded that at Double or Nothing last year? And, that's just one of those things where Vince McMahon does, as of recent reports, Vince McMahon does not want to work with anybody who has shown up in AEW. Which is, there you go. Now Vince just has an excuse to not work with Bret or work with anything Bret. The only reason Natty is still there right now is because of a good paycheck, I'm pretty sure, because they don't push her either. And that's just what it is. That's what I have noticed over the years. It's, obviously they're always going to love Shawn Michaels. They're always going to make Shawn Michaels more money. Always going to prefer Shawn Michaels over Bret Hart, no matter the legacy. Shawn Michaels has a great legacy, but they will never overshadow that over Shawn Michaels' is a legacy. Bret Hart, like that's just how it is. They're not gonna do it. And that's the whole thing with that, man. I mean, obviously when you run a company, and you probably see this in many entertainment companies, right? There was a time where Dana White bought UFC with his friend. And before Dana White bought the UFC with his friend, there used to be another owner of the UFC. Now, you could see the difference in ownership. What happens is, okay, so Vince understands the business. He has been, with the WWE. He has, obviously been through all of the highs and lows of the WWE for years and years and years. But there comes a time where, you just cannot do it anymore. You cannot, perform the same way anymore. Obviously everyone has a stop clock and everyone has the end of a buzz. And that's what Vince McMahon is finally going through. Everyone knows it. Stephanie knows it. Shane knows it. Triple H knows it. The backstage room knows it. The gorilla room knows it. Us fans know it. The WWE talent knows it. That Vince is done, man. Vince is done now. But only Vince does not want to realize that he's done. So what can you do? Nobody could do anything until Vince makes that decision. Obviously, once that decision is made, that's the turning point of the WWE for the good or for the bad, because you have a long time to obviously become the company that the WWE is, because they're just still like, year one right now. But, it's just, that's what it is. Do you believe in the Planet's champion, Daniel Bryan, ability to win in the Money in the Bank? Dude, honestly, I don't even know why they dropped Daniel Bryan's storyline with the Planets thing. Daniel Bryan was doing so well. That storyline was so cringe, but it was hilarious. And that was the reason why we loved that Daniel Bryan storyline. The champion of the planets, that WWE belt, which was made of recyclable material, that was some funny shit. And what did they do? They dropped it because, I don't know, apparently news was behind that, was that some cause that the WWE supports in the back related to saving the planet, all of that stuff, got offended by something that Daniel Bryan said. So there we go. They dropped the ball on such a storyline. I don't think he's going to win the Money in the Bank. I do not think he's going to win the Money in the Bank. Let me see who's actually in the Money in the Bank. Let me know in the comment section, guys, who's in the Money in the Bank this year. 2020. I think Rey Mysterio is in the Money in the Bank, right? But he's just there for... just to be... Okay, so men's Money in the Bank. Okay, so we have Daniel Bryan, Aleister Black, Rey Mysterio, King Corbin, Otis... And one is still to be determined. I don't know if they found out today or not. So, yeah. So, okay. So this kind of changes my mind here. Looking at the list, I don't think... So it could be either Daniel Bryan or Aleister Black, to be very honest. I will be right back, guys. I gotta take a dump. So give me 5 minutes, guys. Let me know in the comment section if you guys have any more questions or anything that you guys want my opinion on. And we'll get on with it after I get back. All right, guys? Stay put. All right, guys, I am back. So, yeah, so where were we? We were at the Money in the Bank match. So, where we have Daniel Bryan, Aleister Black, Rey Mysterio, King Corbin, Otis, and one is to be determined. I am not sure if they have revealed who's going to be the one. That one person. Maybe that really depends if that's going to be the person who's going to win the Money in the Bank. So it really depends, guys. That's what it is. If you guys have not subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel. I would really, really, really appreciate it. We're trying to get to 100. We're at 94 subscribers right now. So please, 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 that would be great, man. But yeah, so that's what it is. So let's see what else is in the Money in the Bank card. So women's Money in the Bank, we have Asuka, Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Carmella. That one, I think they're going to give it to Shayna Baszler because they have put her down for a while now. And obviously, so it's either going to be Shayna Baszler or, in my opinion, it's going to be Lacey Evans. It's one of the two because they're not going to give it to Nia Jax. Because, obviously they're building her as dominant, but, she's not going to be as dominant once the match starts. So that's the whole thing with that, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's my thing. Yeah. So give me a second. Let's pause this real quick. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Money in the Bank? What do you think is going to happen? Who do you think is going to win in the women's championship? And that's the big one, man. Who is going to be, let's see where it goes to this. How's the situation with you guys with the whole Corona thing? What state or country are you from? We're from Chicago right here, and in Chicago, it's still uncertainty on when it's gonna be over, and we're just going through the motions with this, man. It's not been easy at all whatsoever. Give me a second. Drew McIntyre is gonna win. Yeah, Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins. I think this is a terrible rivalry right now. Seth Rollins, he could have done some crazy Undertaker type shit as being the characterized messiah that he's trying to become here. But once again, the WWE, they should have put his ass on a cross and all of this weird satanic type of shit, which would have been interesting for Seth Rollins. But no, they don't want to be creative at all. He could have been playing mind games with Drew McIntyre, but they just don't want to do that. Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt, I think Braun Strowman is going to win this somehow, and they're going to bury Bray Wyatt. You know, so that's the thing. They should not bury Bray Wyatt after he's been buried so many times after building such a beautiful character, but they will do that again. And that's what I don't understand about that either. Like, why bury? And, you know, it's just so frustrating. That's where it comes in again. This rivalry shouldn't have happened regardless. But they're just going to do it. I don't get. Why have a rivalry that is not going to matter, that's not going to do anyone any good, but just to do it this match? Unless Bray Wyatt wins, of course, but at the same time, it's just like, do you really think Bray Wyatt has anything to gain out of this rivalry? No. They should have put Bray Wyatt in the Money in the Bank. And the way they should have done this is that, you know how they have this secret person right now who hasn't been revealed as the sixth person in the Money in the Bank during the Money in the Bank match? What they should have done is, you know, people like just fighting, everyone's down, suddenly the lights turn off. When the lights turn back on, Bray Wyatt is taking out the Money in the Bank briefcase from up there. What a plot twist that would have been. But no, they don't want to do that. I'm pretty damn sure that's not going to happen. So that's where, you know, that's my thing, man. I'm just so sick of this shit where it's like, you know, what are the chances? What are the chances that's going to happen? I don't see anything happening at all. But yeah, you know, that's where it ends up being. But yeah, guys, that's my kind of some sort of a review on, that's my review on SmackDown and the upcoming Money in the Bank. I will be live again during Money in the Bank and obviously next week during Raw, SmackDown, so on and so forth. I just hope you guys are safe. Be safe. And make sure if you guys have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. Let's get to 100. Throw a big thumbs up to the video. And yeah, man, WrestleFlow fans, WrestleFlow is out. Take care, guys. Have a good weekend. Be safe.